This one is a bit more difficult, mostly because I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, and as seems to be the case more and more as of late, I have no real conclusion for this part of the video. I'm talking about traditions, traditional ways of thinking and behaving within the fictional setting, the types that help my enjoyment of such story, and how all of that ties to that notion of the protagonist somewhat going against the flow, and if those traditions even represent those rules that I want broken by the characters within the story, or if they are something of a separate entity that functions as some foundation, some core, and then suddenly influences the unconscious behavior of the characters and the story itself. I am definitely not against traditions within a story, the traditional ways of doing things, as long as they are truly unique, original to that particular setting. If I am able to do that, then I see no reason for excluding them or trying to portray them in some negative way. But I probably don't want the protagonist to be somehow tied by them. One example that kind of suggests itself is Conan and his approach to the Sumerian ways of life and traditions, respecting some, but mostly just finding his own way. I am unsure if that is exactly the way I want to do my things because, well, I don't want to just copy someone else, but it should serve as one instance of it being done in a way that I can identify with. I can envision scenarios when my protagonist uses someone adherence to the old ways against them, but also a case where the protagonist attempts something that goes against what is considered common sense and then paying for it. This is nothing new, nothing that has never been done before. And then here comes another problem of striking the balance between these two, not ending up being disrespectful towards the development and history of the setting and the peoples that came before the story happened. So at the end of the day, this is just me brainstorming without the brain part, and the question of am I even going to be able to incorporate these ideas into any sort of cohesive, coherent story shall remain unanswered, at least for the foreseeable future. And for the imminent future, it's the Rapid Arrows and their adventures, their struggles, and we begin with Sly Boots struggling to keep his taste buds under control because Speedy is gorging on meat during their break in their search for the runaway boys. They notice a flour bag that the boys must have thrown away just recently on the other side of a stream, with Speedy just stuffing the Frankfurters he was trying to enjoy casually into his bag so that they end up hanging outside, which is a great opportunity for Sly Boots. And while the rest of the club is searching for a way to cross the stream without swimming, since according to Mirek the water is way too cold, Redcap climbs up a nearby tree, not usable for crossing, but usable for spotting the boys and their campsite. he tries to persuade them to simply come back, mentioning their parents, being genuinely scared for them, trying to appeal to the boys, but they refuse to hear any of that, quickly pack up their things, and attempt to disappear, foregoing the idea of spending the night at another farm like they did before, in fear of the rapid arrows actually searching all of them. Meanwhile, Mirek finally brings back a long enough and hopefully sturdy enough pole jump over the stream, which reminds Yindra of their rival, the leader of the Brotherhood of the Cat's Paw. This time they all successfully crossed the stream without any accidents. Last one on the other bank is Yarka, who packs Sly Boots into this cloth package, and then Mirek carries him with the help of the other boys who had already crossed over to their side. And then it's time to continue the pursuit and hopefully catch up to the runaways who had disappeared somewhere in this rocky area above the stream while the rapid arrows were crossing it. After wandering around a bit, Sly Boots picks up some smell, and following him around this quite scary looking ledge, which makes Yarka rather thankful for the lack of fear of heights within the club, and it also makes Speedy lament the fact that he had begun this treacherous journey facing the abyss instead of facing the wall, but they all cross this dangerous part safely, and then following the voices they hear nearby, they climb to the top of one of the hills, and there is a cave underneath them where the boys they are looking for ended up during this chase. And after Yarka upsails down and reprimands the boys who try to take him hostage for behaving like small children, he shows them the letter from their parents that promises them no repercussions. They finally come to their senses. They take one last look at the countryside they ran to, realize that its clear beauty is reserved for those with clear conscience, and all ends well in a friendly farewell. The rapid arrows wishing the boys kindly welcomes when they get back home, and the boys wishing them wonderful rest of Easter, and they also promise that they will make absolutely sure that there will be no more negative school reports forcing them to try and run away from home. And then it's this club's another anniversary, or well, at the beginning of this chapter, it's still a month away, and for its celebration, they decide to have a club meeting in front of the wall where Yarka first met Mirek all those years ago, reminiscent a little bit, and then return to the club room with each member preparing something special for the entire club. And then it's almost the time of the anniversary, and Speed is still trying to concoct some sort of an interesting idea. Indra is carrying this hemispherical package, asking his mom one last time if she thinks that the rapid arrows will be pleased by what he is prepared. And then it's finally time for this special meeting. They basically reenact the first meeting of theirs, the struggle against the Black Riders, with Mirag hoping that they will remain this unit this circle of friends going into the future. And then it seems that Speedy has finally gotten an idea, but he has to rush to the club room and prepare it first. And then it's time for everyone to present their gifts to the club. Mirek created this storage box for notes, enabling gleeful Speedy to safely forget his own notebook. Yarka prepared this grand detective adventure game that will last them all the way up until their next big trip. Redcap gives them this fictional novel through the Siberian tundra and primeval forest. Yindra, nervous despite his mother reassurances, reveal his creation with the guide from the beaver's dam. He had built an artificial campfire that gives both light and warmth. And then it's finally Speedy's turn. He even has this curtain right behind him, and after stuttering around a bit, admitting that he just could not think of anything, he finally presents his gift, which is sly boots with a giant ribbon. And his gift to the club thus is this festively decorated sly boots. This is where I'm going to stop, more to come. Actually, it feels as if something clicked into place. I am enjoying making these more. Probably has something to do with the innocence of the Rapidaros adventures, and also the whole writing stuff makes me think more and actually think things through regarding what I want to write and how. So, in the next video, more Epidaros and more world building, more storytelling.